What is going on, guys? Devin Pennypacker here with the Windup Watch Shop, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the best pilot and aviation inspired watches for under $1,000. One of the most instantly recognizable watch styles, thanks in part to their typically oversized crowns and highly legible dial design languages, pilot-style watches, or Fliegers as they're sometimes referred, can trace their true origins back to the early 1900s, when a new style of timekeeper was created for German military aviators. These enormous 55mm cases strapped to the wrist of Luftwaffe pilots needed to adhere to strict specifications, including technology that has become commonplace in watchmaking today. At the time, though, it was truly cutting edge, with the movements featuring hacking seconds, anti-magnetism, dial with large, clear focuses on instant legibility, the extended sword hands turned blue and treated with luminous material for better legibility and contrasting against the dial, and of course the large, oversized onion crown meant to make it easy for the pilots to manipulate and change the time on the fly, even when wearing thick leather gloves. While most of us cannot claim to have a need for all of these specific features, that still doesn't stop us from searching out those more refined pilot-style offerings that still have those same benefits today. Plus, who doesn't like to daydream while sitting in the office here and there about soaring through the air with an oversized shearling jacket on? So in this video, we're going to take a look at some of the best pilot and pilot-style watches available on the market today for under $1,000 that still evoke a similar vibe to the historical references that made the design famous. We're going from least to most expensive, with the only caveat being that when certain brands pop up a few times, we're going to lump those watches together so that way we're not jumping from brand to brand. This video is a little outside of the scope that our typical content usually covers, so if you want to see more, please remember to hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and let us know in the comment section down below if you want to see more like this. But with all of that out of the way, let's just go ahead and jump into it. First up on the list is the Orient Pilot, an attainable, enthusiast favorite sitting on the larger side of things with a 42.4mm case. A creamy Type B dial plays into the vintage aesthetic. While the finishing on this piece may be more industrial than most, for under $300 you are getting a traditionally styled pilot's watch with an automatic movement that can be great as an entry point for most of us out there looking to test the water and see if a pilot watch will suit us on a daily basis. Next, let's take a look at a trio of watches from Citizen, starting first with the Citizen Garrison. A truly attainable icon featuring a super titanium case and sapphire crystal, the Citizen Garrison twists traditional style layout using a deep green dial to include a day and date complication. The combination of the eco-drive movement using light to power the quartz caliber within, along with a lightweight case material, creates an overall package that weighs very little, lending to a comfortable wearing experience for a wide variety of wrists, despite its larger dimension set. Taking a serious turn here with a more modern approach is the Citizen Skyhawk, which has long stood as an attainable pilot's watch icon for modern aviators. It packs in a lot of modern complications such as atomic timekeeping, dual time tracking, a perpetual calendar, a 1/100th of a second chronograph, and quite a few more that we could list out here, but we don't want to take too long. The newest iteration of the Skyhawk packs a lot of value into a new, clean, integrated design. Rounding out this Citizen trio is the ProMaster Ultrachron. Now technically this is part of the Land collection, though this model, housed in a DLC Super Titanium case, features a pilot-style design language with the added complication of an altimeter, an electronic compass, a dedicated date window, all of which could be features that would come in handy when piloting an aircraft. So why not put this one on the list too? Next, we have a collection of watches actually from one brand, and that is Laco. Producing pilot watches since 1925, Laco is a name synonymous with the Flieger style of watches, having produced some of the earliest models used during the war. Offering both a Type A and a Type B dial orientation with the Aachen and Augsburg, Laco still produces watches in Germany to this day with exacting quality and attention to detail. They even go as far as to offer models with automatic Japanese Miata calibers at a more attainable price point, along with similarly styled, upgraded pieces that feature Swiss calibers on the inside for those who are looking to upgrade the piece. Though the black dial may be more traditionally styled, more recent offerings such as their blue dials or their limited edition green dials add a bit of color and fun, while lending a little bit of styling versatility to the lineup as well. Next, we look to France with the Yema Flygraph Bi-Compacts. Designed in collaboration with the French Air Force, the Yema Flygraph Bi-Compacts follows a traditional aviation-style design language and brings a chronograph complication to the table for under $500. Towing the line between vintage aesthetics and modern design, the Bi-Compact's dial rests beneath a domed hezolite crystal which lends warmer hues to the bold superluminova treated hands and indices. Overall, it does have a modern appearance, but does still evoke vintage vibes. Next up, we have a bit of a sleeper pick with the Betucci A11T Field Chronograph, a brand that a lot of people just kind of dismiss. For whatever reason, Betucci is a name that is often overlooked in the watch community, despite having a reputation for producing some excellent offerings at their price point. The story is no different here for the A11T, a durable design utilizing titanium for the case material, a sapphire crystal to protect the lume-heavy dial, and an Ameriquartz chronograph movement, all come together to complete this ultra lightweight field chronograph, which weighs in at an astonishing 2.3 ounces. Of course, how could we make this list without mentioning the Marathon Navigator? Certainly offering a twist on a traditional style with tritium glass tubes and a high impact composite fiber shell case, the Navigator offers simple yet reliable grab and go capabilities. This has been one of my go-to watches for cycling and camping as the legibility is great and I'm not concerned if this watch takes a knock. Yes, it might not have the traditional Type A or Type B dial, however this one still acts as a great pilot-style watch for those looking for something that they don't have to fuss about. With models that seemingly fit into almost any category out there, of course G-Shock has to make the list. However, this time with a more in-the-weeds sort of pick with the Rangeman GPRH 1000. No doubt a chunk of a watch, the Rangeman carries the same durability and reliability that the brand has become famous for, while packing in a slew of additional features that can be really useful when traveling by plane. Besides the added dust and dirt protection, this model also sees the inclusion of an activity tracker to monitor yourself, along with environmental trackers such as altimeters, air pressure sensors, and temperature readouts, just to name a few. While definitely a deviation from the traditional style, there's no doubt that this is still fitting into that aviation style category that would be useful for modern pilots. Next up, we have Alpina with the Star Timer Pilot Quartz. This is a fairly traditional layout, set apart by the stark white dial and red contrasting accents. The Star Timer Pilot wears just incredibly well thanks to that quartz movement on the inside, lending to the height of just 9.4 millimeters. It is a larger case size, however, when put on the wrist, it does slide under the cuff nicely, making it a good option for those who are looking for a dressier style in that pilot and aviation category. I know it was probably one of the first names that you shouted at your screen when we started this video. So of course, how could we make this list without including Stowa with the Flieger vs 40? Built continuously since 1940, Stowa really was one of the early adopters of the Flieger style, carried out here in a very pure interpretation. It's with this model too that we see our first inclusion of a Swiss automatic caliber on this list. Next, we're going to take a look at a pair of Hamilton watches, beginning with the Hamilton Khaki Aviation Pilot Pioneer Mechanical. Despite having probably the longest name on this list, this is actually one of the smallest offerings to make it as well. With a pared down case dimension, the Pilot Pioneer Mechanical just wears really well on the wrist and has a nice vintage charm, allowing you to engage with the piece through the mechanical movement, which does feature an 80-hour power reserve, so you don't have to keep winding it all day long. The small 33 to 36 millimeter case is definitely on the smaller side for most of us. However, if you look back into history, a lot of the watches around this time period were definitely on the smaller side. There's no denying that this piece definitely brings an old vintage charm that feels plucked right out of its era. Next, we'll shift to more of a modern sense with the Pilot Day-Date Automatic. Nicknamed the Cooper because of its connection to the film Interstellar, the Pilot Day-Date Automatic is a relatively newer offering from Hamilton. With a more modern take on the Type B dial and handset, the Pilot Day-Date offers quite a bit of overlooked value from the brand, known more for a traditional field watch style. Here we have all of the trimmings of a modern-day, everyday sports watch packed into a pilot-style design for a price point that is still under $1,000. It definitely makes a compelling offer for those looking for more of a modern take rather than the vintage charm that we've talked a lot about already. Next, another iconic addition to the list with the Glycine Airman No. 1. While the sourcing for this piece can be called murky at best, the model does offer a clever bit of dual-time functionality thanks to its extra hand sweeping across the 24-hour dial display and bezel. Newer No. 1s can be kind of hard to come by because of the sourcing issues. However, the slim pilot's watch does now feature a sapphire crystal, so be sure you know which one you're picking up before you actually bring it home. Next up is Fairer with the Bradfield. Now yes, we could have mentioned the Morgan, but the Bradfield takes color up a notch, a signature from the brand, while infusing a modern design language into a traditional layout. It's here that we start to see anti-magnetism introduced to our list for the first time, as Fairer makes use of a soft iron Faraday cage to protect the movement up to 500 Gauss. That is 8 times higher than ISO 764. A little bit of peace of mind added to this model, which does offer a little bit of fun flair. And then finally, we conclude the list with the Bulova Lunar Pilot, specifically the 43.5 millimeter case diameter version, just because this one tends to wear a little bit better on most people's wrists. Now, obviously this is a bit of a stretch pick here if we wanted to stick to true traditional pilot style watches, but it does have pilot in the name. The Lunar Pilot is just an iconic pick offering the benefits of high precision quartz accuracy with a chronograph complication and the added benefit of its backstory. Now, there are many different flavors of this watch, including different case diameters and dial colors, but for me, you can't go wrong with traditional black or maybe the blue panda. Well, alright guys, that is gonna do it for this video. Please let me know down below, what did you think? Do you wanna see more videos like this? Were there watches that I missed that should have been included? I'm sure I'm gonna read the first comment down below and smack myself on the forehead and be like, yeah, of course that should have been on the list. But, well, that's the nature of the beast. Also, if you did like the video, please subscribe and hit the like button down below. It does help us out. And be sure to visit the Windup Watch Shop, where we're working hard to bring new items, EDC items, and watches to that shop every single day. If we don't see something on there that you're looking for, let us know and we'll see what we can do about adding it in the future. But anyway, I know your time is valuable, so I appreciate you spending some of it with me. I will catch back up with you in the next video. But until then, peace.